What do you see as the biggest problem in your own party?
Rhinos. Republicans in name only. People that don't live or don't vote or don't spend or don't uphold the constitutional limited government ideals, the small government ideals, the fiscal sanity ideals that made the party great in the first place, the party of Reagan, the party of Abraham Lincoln. Those who want to be Democrat light, it doesn't work. The Bob Doles, the John McCains of the world, great men, heroic, heroic in their own right, personally, but I think a train wreck for the Republican Party. Is that too blunt?
No.
Do you have, this is the last question, do you have any questions for us or anything else you would like to add?
Yes, and whoever wants to say this, what is your most important issue?
No.
I consider debt.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would probably be on the top.
Yeah.
We're a group of people, that's one of the things, it's not a top-down organization, it's a bottom-up. And so we have a lot of people that have, we have a lot of Second Amendment people, we have a lot of immigration people, but probably you're right. And I think we did take a poll at one time right in the beginning, and the number one thing was the budget.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. I'm hearing that amongst some Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
We've always had deficits, but this is unprecedented, the things they're doing.
Now it's swollen to 19 trillion by 2014. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mine's Department of Education.
Department of Education.
It's not the debt for me. I've thought about this, and I think that good education, not the kind we have now, if that doesn't get changed, we won't change. Because
Long term,
that is
yeah.
raising our kids.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And you know, the great thing about it is it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both of those. They're both very important.
Right.
But national bankruptcy is not going to be good for anybody.
Exactly.
I have a question. How are you going to elect it? You can't, I don't believe, as an independent, think that you can just spout the ultra-conservative point of view and get elected in Kitsap County. So how are you going to do that and take this down the road?
How am I going to get elected? Before I leave today, you guys are all going to write me a check. That's how I'm going to do it.
Money and vote. Right?
Partially true. Jay Inslee's voting record is atrocious. He's on the wrong side of every issue. All of the things that people are upset about, and 71% of the public are upset or angry at the federal government. Not mildly angry, angry with the federal government. He's on the wrong side of every issue. But if nobody knows it, it doesn't matter. We have to raise enough money to shout his atrocious voting record from the rooftops. If we do, he is toast. If we don't, he'll get reelected. So I've got to raise money.
Will you do it?
And I need your help. No, because there's, in a national race like this where there's 700,000 people in the district, it's just not an efficient use of time. You can't. You got to do mailings, you got to do, which takes a ton of money. You know, in the primary it's very difficult to raise money. Phone calls. Yes.
If you could change anything about the Constitution, would you?
Yeah, I'd do that Liberty Amendment. That Liberty Amendment to the Constitution, which strengthens the enumerated powers in the 10th Amendment.
One thing is, Inslee's not from here, okay?
Right.
He's a carpetbagger.
Right.
And the thing is he gets reelected, not by Kitsap votes, but by on the other side of the water. And but you still have to get a fair amount of votes out of a very liberal area, which is Bainbridge. And not many Republicans can do that, whether in Kitsap County. So I don't see how if you don't send a group like the Tea Party people out and your own people out to tell people I'm on the streets and I want your vote, I don't see how they're gonna knock him off. I don't know, how much does he have? 5 million?
Well, no, he's got $1 million.
Million?
He's got $1 million, so he's no Patty Murray,
No.
but he votes 98% like Pelosi. That's a good question. It's not as liberal as you might think. Right now, the generic ballot is Republican and Democrat. It's even.
In the state of Washington?
No, in the 1st Congressional District.
Oh.
The
Well,
tides.
That's good.
The tides are turning big time. Only 37% of the public think that Inslee deserves to be reelected. And I have my primary opponent, James Watkins, to thank for that because he spent the money on the poll.
Well, one of the big issues with Inslee is the Puget Sound. He's on Commerce, isn't that correct?
He's on all the environmental.
Right.
Yeah. He's a one-trick pony. That is his issue.
Who's that?
Inslee.
Inslee, so is Maria Campbell.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why would I support you instead of James Watkins?
Well, I'll tell you what other people tell me.
Okay.
I'm clear on the issue, on the issues. For example, James has not said how he feels about the tax situation. He says he's studying it. I've got an actual solution. I would eliminate the IRS and institute the fair tax. On the Federal Reserve, he hasn't been clear. On the Federal Reserve, they serve no viable purpose. Their goal is to protect the value of the dollar. How have they done with that? And level out the ups and downs in the economy. How have they done with that? They've caused or played a major role in every major economic bubble that's burst since its founding in 1913. I would eliminate the Federal Reserve.
Oh.
So people tell me I'm straighter with the answers. You ask me a question, I give you a direct answer, right or wrong, like it, love it, hate it, or whatever. I'd say those are the main differences.
Okay.
So there's some
Do you
significant
know
policy
how-
differences.
Do you know how, and I don't, this is not a trick question.
Sure.
Do you know how Mr. Watkins feels on immigration?
I don't.
Okay,
I haven't heard that.
okay.
And that's not a negative, I just have not
Right.
heard. I haven't heard it.
So taxes in the Federal
And-
Reserve.
and where do you
remain
live?
I live in Redmond. It's a
Redmond's
long
pretty
haul though.
liberal, isn't it?
You know, that area leans left, but it's not off the cliff left.
Okay.
These people in Washington, D.C., and Inslee is part of this, these aren't Democrats. You want to read what Democrats stand for? Pull out the 1896 Democrat Party platform. It will make you folks look liberal. Democrats used to be against government involvement in businesses.
Oh, when I was a girl, both parties seemed to have the same goals.
Yes.
But the Democrat Party was the laborers.
Yes.
And the Republican Party was the people who owned the business.
Big business, yes. It's not the way it is anymore. No, this is not, these are not your father and mother's Democrats. These are leftists. They are far left, Marxist leaning people.
But that's
And
the
that's
myth
what they are.
Well, that's the myth that they portray, though.
They're not
And they keep
Democrats.
Well, they keep pushing that myth that,
They're
the Republicans are still
Yeah.
doing business and all this sort of stuff.
Look at their biggest donors.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs, BP. They're in bed with big business.
Yeah.
And that's why you see big business, they love these regulations. You know why? Because it crowds out smaller competitors. If you and I wanted to start an insurance company today, good luck with that. How would we keep up with those miles and miles of pages of regulations? There is no way. The Goldman Sachs I mean, I work for, I'm on full-time leave of absence now, but I work for the largest investment firm in the country.
What firm?
Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. I was with Smith Barney and they merged.
I work for Smith Barney. I used to.
Did you?
Mhm.
We make money the old-fashioned way. We print it. Oh, that's the government.
It's the new way.
So I thought he went over to West Seattle. He's out cleaning out the Redmond.
I'm sorry?
His area.
Oh, the district, it goes up to southern part of Everett, south. Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
way up there, north of Mill Creek, Mukilteo.
It's a skinny slice going,
Yeah, wraps around the
Ridiculous.
northeast, north,
Gerrymandered.
and
Yeah.
northwest part of Lake Washington, and then
Got
Kitsap.
enough liberals in there.
I think one of the.
But again, it leans left, it's not kook left. And the state of Washington has always had a little bit of a populist tilt to it. It tends to go the way the wind is blowing. And like in 1994, which state had the most pickups in the nation? Right here. And that was when Republicans took over the House and the Senate first time in 40 years.